Hi, this is Stephanie Zukowski. This is Module 3 of the Online Facilitator Training course. This covers issues and classroom management. The first part of this module that we're going to discuss is the 3 different technology tools used for student collaboration. Student collaboration is key to any classroom, but especially for the asynchronous classroom. Students need to be able to feel connected. So the technologies that they will be using are Weebly.com, Google Hangouts, and GoToMeeting. Weebly holds the main CMS for the program. Google Hangouts is free also and has an app that can be used on any mobile device, laptop, or computer. And thirdly, GoToMeeting.com can also be used as on a mobile device, laptop, or computer, as it is also an app. Unfortunately, there is a monthly fee. All 3 different technologies support student collaboration in real time so that they can build relationships and problem solve together. Bringing students together through collaborative media is very important to building a sense of community and helping them to establish relationships. Adult learners who choose to be a part of the online classroom are going to create a diverse community. Learners represent varying age groups, different ethnic backgrounds with the possibility of international students who speak another language, and represent a wide range of socio and economic classes. It's important to use these collaborative technologies to bring them closer together. Along with those cultural identifications, the experiential part of what students will bring to the classroom will also be wide. Some of them will come as full-time students, some with full-time jobs, some with families, and some with part-time jobs or just a part-time student. It's important to acknowledge the work and life experiences that the students bring to the table, especially for non-traditional learners. Knowles points out that adult learners want to know how this information applies to them right now and how it will benefit their current situation to have a better future. So, honoring the cultural, experiential, and prior learning experiences in the online classroom becomes a necessity. Just as the student body is very diverse, the difference between the synchronous and asynchronous classroom is especially different, and the skills that a facilitator will need to successfully guide those classes is different. In the asynchronous classroom, a facilitator can design the course ahead of time, and they can respond to student questions after giving it some thought, but obviously they still need to do so in a timely manner. In this classroom, the facilitator has the responsibility to track participation and attendance and establish presence in the online room. When students choose to participate in the synchronous classroom, they are choosing to rearrange their lives to suit their education. The facilitator in this class is responsible for student engagement, timeliness, and participation. The facilitator in this case has to also be ready to be visible in the classroom, but literally, not just establish presence, but be ready to be on camera. The expectations in this class are much closer to that of the traditional classroom in that the student and the teacher are interacting at specific times chosen by the teacher. The asynchronous classroom and the synchronous classroom provide students with a great opportunity for learning. However, along with this great opportunity are also some great downfalls of using technology. These issues are considered technology management. 3 issues to consider are digital literacy, plagiarism, and academic honesty. Digital literacy reflects a student's ability to work within the technology to accomplish learning. A student who doesn't understand how to use the technology won't be able to demonstrate their learning because their access is so limited. The resolution to this issue would be to offer trainings through the institution or encourage students to participate in MOOCs, or the teacher could create videos if there is no training available. Plagiarism is a constant issue no matter the educational classroom or setting. With the current technology, there is no excuse for plagiarized work. So the resolution to plagiarism is to encourage students to run their work through the plagiarism checker, and that the online facilitator does the same thing as well, so that nothing can slide through the cracks. Academic honesty. Is the student who turned in the work the one who completed it? Academic honesty is a concern in all classrooms. Who is doing the student work? Is it in fact that student? Academic honesty is a problem of integrity. Unfortunately, there are no websites to test whether or not the student who is turning in the work is actually the one who completed it. By setting clear guidelines, a facilitator sets the standard for student work. Some institutions have students sign academic honesty policies or contracts to help maintain the honesty and integrity in student work. Classroom management is necessary in any classroom. It doesn't matter if it's traditional, synchronous online, or asynchronous environment. Students need to know what's expected of them, their peers, and the instructor. The best way to cultivate that relationship is by posting, sharing, or emailing the classroom guidelines. Then, the facilitator should open the door for students to give feedback on those expectations. This can occur through private message or on an open discussion board so that all students can read how others are feeling. And this may allow the discussion to move forward as students understand that maybe another student has the same concern. And finally, it's important to encourage online learners to reach out to the facilitator. Using the phone or FaceTime or Skype is a great way to interact with online learners and create a sense of community. Furthermore, when doing assignments, it's important to post clear directions. When students know what's expected of them socially through the guidelines, and then what's expected of them academically through the assignment instructions, it helps them cultivate a feeling of self-efficacy. Self-efficacy helps them understand that they are able to accomplish and be successful the tasks that are set out in front of them in the online classroom. Though a facilitator strives to set clear guidelines from the very beginning, there will always be students who struggle in the online classroom. To help those students socially and academically, it's important for the facilitator to be prepared. Kelly suggests that the facilitator needs to anticipate controversy. Just like a teacher standing in the middle of a traditional classroom would understand that not all students are going to get along, an online facilitator needs to understand that even though the guise of anonymity is over every student, there are still students who are not going to agree with each other, and they're not going to know how to communicate that in a respectful way. So the first thing that a facilitator can do is help establish that feeling of community, that we respect all learners, all backgrounds, and a facilitator can do this by using icebreaker activities, by having students interact with each other in collaborative environments and problem solving, so that they understand that they are all there to do the same thing, which is to learn. And secondly, Kelly suggests that the facilitator look for signs of conflict and unease. These signs can include changes in the quality and quantity of the post, or a reluctance to discuss in discussion forums. Next, be supportive. When approaching a conflict, the facilitator needs to be ready to acknowledge both parties' opinions and not choose sides. Because most importantly, what the facilitator needs to do is to remind the students that they need to communicate in a respectful way that's appropriate for the learning environment. This can be easily accomplished by reminding students the initial guidelines that they read and understood at the very beginning of class. ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act. ADA protects anyone with a physical or mental impairment which substantially limits one or more life activities. Obviously, that includes education, the workplace, or even recreational activities that a student might choose to be a part of. The online facilitator needs to be aware of student needs and encourage them to use any intervention supported through ADA. Some interventions might include audio or visual interventions that allow students who are hearing impaired to better participate in the classroom.